If you wanted to build a fortune in the ancient world, there was a very clear, very dark path to do it. You partnered with the empire occupying your home, and you squeezed your own neighbors for every cent they had. That was the exact business model of a man named Zacchaeus. Looking at these archaeological ruins of Jericho, you have to imagine a thriving, bustling trade hub under strict Roman occupation. The Romans outsourced their tax collection to locals, backing them with the threat of military force. Zacchaeus held the title of chief tax collector. He managed an entire network of collectors, making his money by enforcing the Roman tax and then heavily skimming off the top to line his own pockets. He had the expensive clothes, the sprawling estate, and unquestioned authority. But it came at a total cost. He was utterly despised. People crossed the street to avoid him. He was a traitor, entirely cut off from his own people. Securing wealth and power loses its value when it leaves you isolated and despised by everyone around you. We see this same dynamic today. People build lives that look flawless on a resume or a social feed, yet they wake up feeling completely hollow. This diagram illustrates the mask of success, a polished outer geometric shell cracking open to reveal a dark, empty void inside, represents the exhausting daily effort required to project total control while internally starving for genuine connection. Maintaining that shell requires constant vigilance. You cannot reach for a lifeline or seek honest change while both hands are busy holding up a facade of perfection. Prioritizing public perception over your own reality stops growth dead in its tracks. Pride blocks peace every single time. So when a traveling rabbi named Jesus passed through Jericho, a massive crowd flooded the streets to see him. Zacchaeus wanted to see him too, but he had a problem. Zacchaeus was physically short. And a crowd of people who already hated him was certainly not going to part ways and give the town crook a front row view. So he makes a deeply undignified choice. He ran ahead of the mob. Looking at this massive, gnarled sycamore tree in Jericho, you can picture exactly what he did. He scrambled up into branches just like these. Picture a wealthy, high-ranking government official in expensive robes, hoisting himself up into a tree like an impatient child. The same neighbors who despised him were right there, pointing and laughing at the ridiculous spectacle of the rich man dangling from the branches. This choice is the inflection point. Progress and pride are often on opposite ends of the same branch. You cannot hold on to both at the same time. To make a real shift in your life, you have to decide, right then and there, that your progress is worth looking a little foolish. Jesus reaches the tree, stops, and completely ignores the mocking crowd. He looks straight up into the branches and calls Zacchaeus by his actual name. He tells him to come down because they are going to his house for dinner. There is no demand for a public apology. There is no list of conditions. Jesus doesn't wait for Zacchaeus to fix his corrupt business practices, liquidate his assets, or resign his post. He offers immediate connection while the man is still sitting in the tree. We often think we need to clean up our mess before we are worthy of help, whether that means going to therapy, asking a mentor for advice, or seeking God. We think we need a polished version of ourselves first. The crowd will always define you by your worst mistakes. Grace calls you by your name and meets you exactly where you are, mess and all. The internal pressure of his isolation seems to break. Without being prompted by a sermon or a lecture, Zacchaeus stands and pledges to give half of his total wealth to the poor. Then he goes further, pledging that if he has cheated anyone out of anything, he will pay them back 4 times the original amount. This visualization tracks the currency flow. A single red bar, money extracted from neighbors, reverses into 4 green bars moving back into the community. If your bank account and calendar look exactly the same, an apology is manipulation. True repentance demands measurable action. A real spiritual encounter doesn't end with a warm feeling. It demands receipts, rearranging the physical reality of how you live. In response to this, Jesus makes a final declaration. Today, salvation has come to this house. Notice the timeline. He says today. This is a renovation that touches his relationships, his bank account, and his reputation simultaneously. It is a change that happens in real time. In a single afternoon, Zacchaeus completely rewrote his legacy. He woke up as the most hated scammer in Jericho, and went to bed as a generous, restored member of his community. If you want that kind of shift, you have to drop the mask. Stop managing the crowd's expectations and start doing the tangible, uncomfortable work to make things right. No matter what your history looks like, you are never too far gone. If you are willing to climb down from your pride, you can rewrite your story starting right now.